It can take a lot to learn a new game, let alone one that's imaginary. Luckily, you found an expert that's super good at explaining things. After all, learning D&D is like going into space. Once you're up there, you can see for yourself what it's like and how big it is, but it's like really hard to visualize it if you haven't how do I explain this?
So, how do I play?
Right, keep asking me questions like that. That's good, we'll do that. We're gonna play 5th edition since that's probably the easiest to get into since they've streamlined all of the rules. Alright, so here's your character sheet.
What are all these numbers?
On the left are your ability scores. They determine your ability check modifiers, which are used for any skill check you would make that require that particular ability. Or if it's a negative number, then you would still add it, just like you would add any negative number to a positive one.
Can you say that again?
It doesn't matter. You just need to know that your ability scores are important because they make up your attack modifier if you're the type of class that would have to make attacks, other than spell attacks, because for that you would need your spell attack modifier, which does come from your ability scores, unless the enemy needs to make a saving throw, which in that case you would need your spell save DC.
Can we come back to this?
Let me start over. Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons. Let's move on.
How do I make a good character?
Alright, okay, so a good character is just one that you play well.
But I don't know how to play.
Exactly, so your character will be bad.
So how do I make a character?
First, you need to pick a race. You can be an elf or a dwarf, or they have lots of cool monster races you can play, like a goblin.
Can I be a human?
You can, but it might be better to choose something more fun. You know, this is Dungeons and Dragons.
So can I be a dragon?
No, but if you want something more unique, there are some other options like half-elves, half-orcs, and dragonborn, which are like half-dragons.
Are there half-dwarves?
What? No, why would that be a thing?
What are you going to play?
Well, I'm the DM, so I get to control all the monsters while you get to play a character. The monsters are a lot simpler in terms of abilities, so it's going to be fair. Like, your character is going to be a lot more complex than, say, if you were playing a goblin.
I thought you said I could play a goblin.
I mean, you could play a goblin, just not my goblin.
So, you're going to play a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, but it'll be easy for me, and I'll use different voices so you can tell the difference.
Wait, so should I use a different voice?
Please don't.
What's next?
Now you have to pick a class. You can be one that casts spells, like a wizard or a warlock or a sorcerer, or you can be one that fights, like a fighter, which would be a lot more straightforward.
I guess, a wizard.
Of course, predictable.
Wait, can I be a bard?
Let's do wizard.
So, how do spells work?
You can't just cast every spell. You can only cast the spells that are on your spell list in the book and that are listed in your spell book. Also, not every class that can cast spells can cast the same spells, and as you level up, you'll be able to cast higher level spells. So when you reach level 15, you'll be able to cast level 8 spells. Make sense?
So, the highest level of spell is 8.
Well, spells go up to level 9, but not until level 17.
So, there are 9 levels of spells.
Technically, but not actually.
What?
Cantrips are level 0 spells. You can only cast one spell on your turn unless one of the spells you cast is a level 0 spell, and as long as one of the spells you cast has a casting time of an action. But that's it, as long as the other spell you cast has a casting time of a bonus action. But other than that, you can cast 2 spells on your turn. But you can't cast a spell that requires concentration unless you break your concentration on the old spell you were concentrating on, because you can only concentrate on one at a time. Are you concentrating?
Question mark.
Let me start over. In terms of spells, cantrips are included, but they're level 0, so they technically count.
So, can we play now?
Oh, we're not playing today. This is session 0, so it doesn't technically count. Alright, let's look at dice.
Wait, do I need that many dice?
Oh no, don't worry. You only need one of each different type, so like 7 max.
Then why do you have so many?
Well,
How will I know when to roll dice?
I'll tell you whenever you need to roll based on whatever specific action you're trying to make, so it's not going to be random. So if you're trying to say, look at something really closely or really far away, you're just going to roll the die and it'll give you a number. 4. So it might feel a little random, but
Maybe this was a waste of time.
it's not a waste of time. Let's just look at combat really quickly. So on your turn, you would roll to see if you hit the monster, and based on its AC, I will tell you if you hit it or not. So you would roll and get the total, and that's only an 11. So instead, nothing happens. So yeah, that does kind of feel like a waste of time.
How do we figure out what happens in the story?
Anything you choose to happen can happen. We can decide together in sort of a choose your own adventure. That way your actions feel like they have an impact on the greater narrative.
Wait, so how do you decide what happens?
I'll just make something up. It doesn't matter.
Do you know all of the rules?
No, but that's why I have the books, in case I need to look up a rule.
Couldn't you just Google it?
Oh yeah, we're definitely just gonna Google it.
Maybe I'll just learn by looking it up online.
No, you don't need to do that. Let me explain it better. Actually, one sec. There's a great video that explains this.
Should I just watch that video?
Nah, you won't get it though, so I'll just watch it and then I'll explain it to you. Maybe I'm just stupid. I'd be okay with that. you concentrating?
I have to go home now.
Wow, has it been 6 hours already? That was a great first session.
Please let me leave.
Okay, if D&D is too confusing, we can just play Gloomhaven instead. It's like D&D, but only the combat parts, so it's a lot simpler.
You have been thanked for watching. If you liked the video, like the video.